Hi guys, my name is Judy and welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be talking about all of the books on my April TBR, and I cannot believe it's April. Like, what is going on? Where has the year gone? How are we 4 months into this year already? Scary. So as usual, my TBR is very, very big and very optimistic. You can see it behind me here. It is a very, very big TBR. I'm not going to read all of these books. Well, I probably won't. I don't think I will. But these are all the books I'm kind of in the mood for or leaning towards for the most part. But I am a sort of mood reader, so I'll probably deviate from this pile. I don't know, we'll see. But yes, anyways, these are all the books I'm currently planning to read in April, and I'm really excited because I have a mix of so many different books to show you guys today, and I'm very excited about all of these. So if you'd like to see all of the books that I do plan to read in April, then keep watching this video, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first one I have is this super short book, which I'm very, very excited for. It was originally an ebook, but it recently got published into a physical book, and I'm very excited because I love this author. She's wrote 2 of my favourite books, and I cannot wait to read this one. I thought I just saw a spider, oh my god. And I cannot wait to read this one. So that is Galatea, a short story by Madeline Miller. Look how cute this is. It's just so small and cute. So we all know Madeline Miller for Song of Achilles and Circe, 2 absolutely stunning novels with the most beautiful lyrical writing, which is why I love her writing so much. So I'm so excited to read a short story from her. I don't read a lot of short stories, but this one I have very, very high expectations. This is only 56 pages long, so it's super short. So this again is linked to ancient Greece. We have a sculptor who's been blessed by a goddess as well, and we have Galatea. She's supposed to be very obedient to this sculptor, this guy, but she has desires of her own and yearns for her own independence. So in this we follow her and her obsessive husband, and yeah, I'm very, very excited about it. So I definitely do plan to read this one in April, and I cannot wait. And I just love how cute this copy is. So we have another really short book which I have spoken about in a previous reading vlog, and that is Hex by Jenny Fagan. And I'm very, very excited about this because this is inspired by, I think, the witch trials that took place in Scotland, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure it was Scotland. Yes, so this is in the North Berwick witch trials, and it says that this book is a visceral depiction of what happens when a society is consumed by fear and superstition, exploring how the terrible force of a king's violent crusade against ordinary women can still be felt right up until the present day. So I'm very, very excited about this. You all know, if you're a regular watcher on my channel, that I love my witchy books, and I've heard so many good things about this one, and I love reading books that are inspired by actual history, so especially the witch trials that happened in different places, because when people hear witch trials they often think Salem, and other places like Scotland and so on are sometimes forgotten. So it's really nice to see books still incorporating that part of history, because it is a very, very important part of history that is very much, in a sense, still relevant today. And I'm very excited to see how Jenny Fagan explores this and how she links it to present day as well. So yeah, very, very excited about this one. Now, what are you doing? You're not on my TBR. Oh, okay, bye. Okay, so next we have my Patreon buddy read for April, which is Gallant by Schwab. So I'm so excited to read this. I've been meaning to pick this up for a while because I had a proof, but I just didn't get around to it. But oh my gosh, like, I've seen and heard so many good things about this book. Everyone seems to love it, and everyone's saying it's like the perfect gothic story, and I love that. And this is also apparently quite reminiscent of her writing style in Addie LaRue, and I loved Addie LaRue. Don't get me wrong, the pacing for that book was not great. The first 200 pages was so long but once it got into the plot, it was a stunning book, and her writing was just so beautiful. I fell in love with the writing style in that book, and I just literally couldn't stop underlining everything. And I've heard that her writing style in this book is quite similar, which I'm very excited for. So this is a kind of creepy, atmospheric, gothic tale, and I'll read you this little paragraph here. So it says, 16-year-old Olivia Pryor is missing 3 things: a mother, a father, and a voice. Her mother vanished all at once, her father by degrees, and her voice was a thing she never had to start with. Her only companions are the ghouls she sees and her mother's journal, which captured a mind in turmoil. So yeah, this sounds so good. Very, very excited. It says on the back, a haunting and beautifully tiled garden of darkness, Gallant unearths the shadows, webs of family history, the price of deadly bargains, and the secret to be guard, plunging readers into a triumphant tale that cannot be missed. So yep, Sounds incredible. Sounds exactly like my kind of story. So excited for this. So like I said, this is my Patreon buddy read pick for April, so I will be reading this book alongside my patrons, and I will be filming a spoiler filled reading vlog for this book, which will go up there. So I'm super excited. And look at these sprayed edges, so pretty. And we have this gorgeous art underneath. Like, I'm just obsessed with this book already, and I haven't even read it yet. So yeah, very high expectations for this book. So next we have a Colleen Hoover book. There's actually another Colleen Hoover book as well on my TBR for April, but it's at the bottom of the pile because this one's a slightly different genre. So this is a thriller romance, and this is a Verity, and I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with this book. It's all over the internet. Everyone is raving about Colleen Hoover and this book as well, and I really want to read it. I feel like I will love this. I know it's not really comparable, but I recently read the Mind F series by St. Abbey, which is basically a kind of thriller romance, serial killer romance, and I friggin' love that. I love the plot a lot more than the romance, so I'm not too bothered about the romance, but I like that vibe. So I'm interested to see if this will have a similar kind of vibe of being like, you know, a thriller with a little bit of romance in, and I'm really excited to explore that genre. So I definitely do want to pick this up, and I've heard this is so messed up. I honestly don't know much about the premise of this book at all. I really want to go into it and be surprised and not know anything and just have my mind blown, which I'm sure this book is definitely going to do. But yeah, I'm very excited for this, and low-key kind of scared. Okay, so next we have a romance, which is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So this comes out in May, and I was very kindly sent a proof of this by the publisher. So this says, one summer two rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming, and essentially this follows two different people who are kind of like rivals slash enemies in a sense, and one of them is called Nora, who's a cutthroat literary agent, and then we have Charlie, who's an editor as well. And this has got kind of like the holiday vibe. So essentially this girl's sister encourages her to swap desks with her for a month's holiday in Sunshine Falls, North Carolina, and it says it's a small town straight out of a romance novel, but instead of meeting sexy lumberjacks, handsome doctors or cute bartenders, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie. She's no heroine, he's no hero. Can they each take a page out of an entirely different book? So yeah, I just love the sound of this. It sounds so good. I've never read any of Emily Henry's books before, although I do own them, so if I really enjoy this one I will probably pick those up also. But yeah, I would like to get to this in April before it releases, and I definitely do love to read romances in like the warmer months, and obviously April springtime, so I feel like this will be a really nice one to read in April, and hopefully I do get to it. So next we have another romance book, which is The Fine Print by Laura Asher, and again another very popular book all over the internet. And this one is a billionaire's romance. All I know is some billionaire guy hires this woman, and he kind of is instantly like can't leave her alone, like drawn to her, and I think this is kind of Grumpy Sunshine romance vibes, but I might be wrong. I don't know a ton about this, and I do want to keep it that way. I've just seen and heard a lot of good things about this book, so I did get it, and I'm very excited to hopefully read it in April because I love my romance, and I've heard this is amazing. So yeah, I don't think I really need to go into what this is about because I feel like everyone is familiar with this book. If you aren't, you can head to Goodreads or Google to read more about it, because I want to go into it knowing very little and just enjoy the romance. I've never read a billionaire's romance before either, so very excited about that part. Okay, so next we have this book, which is another super popular book, and I've never read a Mariana Zapata book before in my life, so I really want to change that, and hopefully April will be the month. So Mariana Zapata is very famous for her slow burn romance, and I have a love-hate relationship with slow burn. Like, I like slow burn and the build up to the romance, but I also get impatient at the same time. But I also kind of lose interest in romance once they've got together. Like, I kind of start to lose interest after that. I'm like, okay, they've got together now, I don't care anymore. So I feel like I will love her books because it is generally just a big slow burn romance. So I believe this one is a figure skating romance, and I believe this is sort of like a enemies to lovers kind of vibe. Not necessarily enemies, but she doesn't have a good opinion of this guy and I don't think she likes him very much. So we have that kind of vibe to it, and like I said, slow burn romance, figure skating. It's going to be a fun time. So next we have a fiction novel, which I don't usually read, but I've heard so many good things about this, and I picked it up at the bookstore the other day. I read the prologue and wow, just wow. So I really do want to read this now, and that is Almond, and this is by Won-pyung Sohn, and I'm very I'm very excited about this. When I initially looked this book up, it said it's about two monsters kind of meeting each other, and I was like, wow, that sounds so cool. So essentially we follow young Jay, and he was born with this brain condition, and essentially he can't really feel many emotions like fear and anger. He doesn't have any friends. He only really has his mother and grandmother, and then there's this horrible tragedy that happens and he's kind of like left alone, and he essentially is struggling to cope with his loss. And then he meets this person at school called Gon, and they form this like surprising bond, and basically Gon ends up finding his life at risk, so young Jay has to step outside every comfort zone he has created and perhaps become the hero of his own story. So yeah, very excited about this. Like I said, I heard so many good things about it. Like I said, it's not my usual read, but I definitely do want to come out my comfort zone when it comes to books this year, so very excited to hopefully pick this one up in April. Okay, so this next one I'm not really going to talk too much about because it's a sequel, so I very briefly started this, and when I say started, I only read the first 3 chapters. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder for a 24-hour readathon vlog in March. Was it March or was it February? It was actually in February, I think. I will link the vlog up here and down below. But yes, I read that for a vlog. Really enjoyed it, and I got the second book, picked it up, started it, and then I was like, no, I'm not in the mood for a thriller anymore, and I popped it on hold. But I would like to read it, so potentially I will get to this one in April, but I don't know for sure. So obviously that is Good Girl Bad Blood, which is the second book in the series, and essentially we follow this teenager at school who helped kind of exonerate someone and solve a murder in the first book, and then in the second book I think a boy goes missing or something, and she's kind of like figuring out what's going on, who done it, and all this. So yeah, very excited to read this one, potentially in April. Just thought it was worth mentioning because I might pick it up. Okay, so we have the other Colleen Hoover book, and again, I don't know much about this. I just know it's about a young mother, I think, who gets out of prison for something, and then it's about her trying to get her life back together and trying to like reunite with her daughter and things like that. And then she bumps into this guy at a bar, and I think they develop a romance, and this hits like a lot of traumatic stuff, and that is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. That's all I know about it. I know that this is going to make me bawl my eyes out. I know it's very intense. It has a lot of different themes in it. Apparently there's a few trigger warnings, so make sure you look up those before you pick this up. But yes, I am just in the mood to read a sad book, and apparently this is like kind of a sad one, and because I've been seeing it everywhere recently, I just really want to read it now, so I'm adding it to the pile to potentially read, because I need to make my way through Colleen Hoover's books as soon as possible. So maybe we will read this one if I feel like crying, but we'll see. So next we have a manga collection, and this is a horror manga novel, and this is like a sci-fi one. It's essentially to do with aliens. That's pretty much it, and that is Sensor by Junji Ito. So very excited for this one. It's not too long, and it has the classic spooky Junji Ito illustrations, and yeah. Then next we have 2 poetry books. So we have Shine Your Icy Crown by Amanda Lovelace. So I've read 2 of her poetry collections recently, pop them both on the screen here. Really enjoyed them. I gave one of them I think 5 stars or 4.5, and the other one was maybe like 4. Honestly can't remember. Just really enjoy her poetry. It's very relatable and very beautiful and straight to the point, and they're all like kind of inspired by like fairy tales and like very feminist, and just like, I don't know, they're just really good. I really like them, so I want to read this one this month, and this just looks so good. I've flicked through, some of the poems sound amazing. I'm very excited about this one. And then I also have A September Love by Langliev, which I got for my birthday, as well as this one, and I'm very excited about this one. I really want to read some of Langliev's poetry, and I've wanted to read some of her poetry for a while now, so I thought I would start with this one. I own another one of her poetry collections, but because it's the one I recently got, I just thought I would add this one to the TBR. So this is all to do with love as well, so it's kind of about romantic love, self-love, and just lots of different variations of love, and I'm very excited to give it a read. So yeah, I've put these 2 on my TBR. Then next we have another romance, which is The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, and this is book 2 in the Off-Campus series, and I really need to read this because I've read the first one and loved it. I read the deal in like 24 hours. It's just a really quick read, very like fun romance. It's nothing amazing, it's just a fun romance, and I really want to read this one, but I keep putting it off because basically at the start of this, the main guy, Logan, is kind of in love with his best friend's girlfriend, I just don't vibe with that. I just don't like it, and I just can't get a good image of this guy in my head when I'm reading this, because I have tried to start a couple of times, but I have heard that it is really, really good once you get past that part, and I want to read all of them, and I don't want to skip this one. I want to read it, so I'm hopefully going to get to this. It isn't too long either, so I feel like I could binge this in like a day and get it out of the way, and I'll probably really love it. So yeah, this is a college romance, I think, and yeah, I'm very, very excited about it. I'm not going to go into what this is about because these books are really popular, and to be honest, I just can't be bothered. Like, it's just a fun romance. It's a college romance. Basically, in the first book, these are like characters that exist in that, and then their romance, if that makes sense. It's basically about a guy trying to win over a girl. He's basically a huge fuckboy, and then he meets this girl, and she's basically crushes his ego, and he's like, what's going on here? And as a result, he like kind of chases her, if that makes sense, like romantically, and ends up falling for her, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the basic plot of this book, but I just want to read it. I really, really like Elle Kennedy's books. They're just fun romances, so hopefully I do enjoy this one. Okay, so these next ones, you're going to look at me and be like, Jodie, how on earth are you going to read those and all of these other books in April? I don't know either. I have no answer to that question, but we love a trier, so yeah, we're just going to be optimistic. So these are the books that are also on my TBR, and they're all absolutely ginormous. So yeah, these are from the Zodiac Academy series. So I read the first book with my patrons in, I think the vlog went up this month, and I will link that down below if you guys want to go to Patreon and watch that. I filmed a spoiler-filled reading vlog reading the first book. I wasn't a big fan of it at first. It took me 5 goes to actually start reading it, because I kept starting it and then putting it down, starting it and then putting it down, because I kept making so many comparisons to Harry Potter, and it was very off-putting. But eventually I got into it, and then I just couldn't stop reading because it's very character-driven, and the main characters, I absolutely adore them, which is why I couldn't stop reading. And I moved on to the second book, finished that, gave it 5 stars. It was so much better than the first book. The pacing was so much better, and I then went and got the rest of them from work, and I've started the third book. I'm 200 pages in currently. Absolutely loving it. It's a little bit slower than the second one, but I get it because it's like setting up for something else. And the third book is very long. This is over 600 pages, so I'm 200 pages in and I've barely made a dent. But this one is Zodiac Academy, The Reckoning, so I want to finish reading that in April. And then I also want to read book 4 as well, which is Shadow Princess. And then if I can do it, and I'm brave enough, Cursed Fates, which is book 5. And this one is the biggest out of these. This one is over 900 pages. Could kill someone with this book. And I do think even though they're big, they could potentially be fast reads, because it is really easy to read, this series. So I might get through these potentially, but I do want to add them to my TBR, just because if this one ends on a cliffhanger, or I really, really love it, I'm obviously going to want to move on to the next one. So yeah, I'm adding all of these to my TBR. I will definitely finish book 3, but I don't know for sure about book 4 and 5. Maybe. These are really, really heavy, but I do want to read these, and I am very excited. Essentially, this series is about 2 twins called the Vega twins, and we have Tori and Darcy. And we follow them at the start of the book in the mortal world, and they have no parents, they have no family, it's just the 2 of them. They've left their foster parent and they're kind of on their own, and one of them steals bikes to, and I honestly can't remember what Darcy does, but essentially they're just about getting by, like not even really getting by, and they have nothing and no one. And then suddenly this guy arrives, and he's like saying, you know, you're these long lost heirs to this throne in this other world. My camera cut me off, so hopefully I was still talking about Zodiac Academy in the last bit, I don't know. But essentially this guy's like, you're these long lost royal heirs to this throne, and you need to come to this school called Zodiac Academy. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? And they end up going with him kind of unwillingly in a way, and they go to this school, and it's very like Harry Potter at the start. And this book has been kind of marketed by people as adult Harry Potter, and I can definitely see that at the start of the first book, but as you progress into the series, I feel like it kind of loses that similarity it had. But yeah, at first I was kind of like, yeah, this is too similar, because we have this magical school where there's 4 houses. However, the difference with these is the elemental houses based on like kind of natural things. So we have air, fire, water and earth. the 4 different houses, and generally people have an affinity for 1 or even 2 magics, but that's rare, and you go into houses. And the Vega twins seem to have all 4, which is unheard of. And we have these 4 celestial heirs who are currently like kind of ruling Solaria with their parents, and they've been training their whole lives to take the throne because the Vega twins' parents were killed years ago, and obviously everyone thought they were dead. So they show up and the heirs are like, nope, not having this, get lost, this is our throne. So obviously they hate each other, and we have them trying to navigate this whole new world and new life, these powers that they didn't know they had, these people that hate them, all of this stuff that they have no idea about. And yeah, it's very, very good. Highly recommend. We have so many different creatures in here as well. We have Medusas, we have Pegasus, we have werewolves, dragons. It's so cool. There's so many different creatures and things. The world is really cool, the magic is really cool, and the main characters are so good. And Tori is so funny. Honestly, laughed out loud crying a few times, especially at the second book. She's just hilarious. Darius, I love you. Yeah, so just, yeah, it's such a good series. That's essentially what it's about. Gonna stop babbling about it, but definitely do want to try and read all of these in April. Okay, and lastly, so excited about this book. So yes, I know this came out a while ago now, but the reason I haven't read it yet is because 1, I'm scared. 2, I know I can only ever read this for the first time once, and I know that sucks. And I want to really, really take my time with this. I do not want to rush through it. I want to save every moment, especially because we have probably a year or longer wait until the next book. So yeah, that's painful, but I just haven't had a chance to be able to dedicate my time to this book. When I'm going to read this is going to be the only book I'm reading, and right now I have too many other books I need to read, like buddy reads and things like that, before I have the time and attention for this book. So this book I probably won't get to till the end of April, and I cannot wait. And that is House of Sky and Breath, which is Crescent City 2 by Sarah J Maas. So I'm not going to go into what this is about, but essentially Crescent City is an urban fantasy series, and we follow Bryson Hunt. First book is incredible, one of the best books I've ever read. Obviously I'm biased because Sarah J Maas is my favourite, but honestly guys, this series is so good. I reread the first book last month and obviously got me in my feels again, got me ready for this one, and I have been spoiled for the end, which is another thing that sucks for me. But I'm not going to say anything because it will give it away, but it's what I wanted, so I'm happy about it. But I just can't believe I got spoiled. Like, why are people like this? And this isn't even now, like this is like literally the day the book came out, I got spoiled. Like, what is wrong with some people? Like, what are you doing spoiling books on the day of release? Like, you should wait at least a month before you start releasing spoilers. Like, it's just so selfish and stupid. Please don't do that. But yeah, I got spoiled for this, so not fun, but still very excited and cannot wait to read this. I already know it's going to be 5 stars. Very, very excited for it. And I will be filming a vlog. I did start it briefly on release, and then I couldn't read it because I had to read something else. So I'm currently on page 36, and I've read the prologue and a few pages of the first one, and I did start filming a reading vlog. But please let me know in the comments, do you guys want a spoiler filled or spoiler free reading vlog? I could try to do both, but I feel like it will get very confusing and very difficult for me to film. But let me know in the comments which you'd prefer, and you shall receive. So yes, I will be filming a vlog for this, but please be patient. It won't be up for a while yet until I've actually read the book, because I've been getting so many comments and messages asking when. So yes, it is coming soon. I just need to read it, and like I said, when I read this book I ain't reading nothing else alongside it. It's just going to be this book and this book only. So yeah, until I get through some of these other books first, this is taking a back seat, but I don't mind because like I said, I want to savour it. And I only get to read it once, and it's just so fun knowing I have this book waiting for me. Like, you don't understand how excited I am for this book, and the fact that I have the joy that this book is going to bring me, and probably heartache to be fair, just makes me excited. It makes me happy. So yeah, very, very excited to read this. But yes, those are all of the books on my April TBR. I'm very, very excited about them. I feel like I have a really nice mixture of books here, and so many exciting ones that I've heard so many good things about. Like I said, I am a mood reader, so maybe I won't read most of these. I don't know, we'll see. I'm hoping April will be a much better reading month than March, because in March I think I've only read 3 books because I'm filming this just before the end of the month, and so far I think I finished like 3 to 4 books and 2 were poetry books. So that really sucks for me because I was so excited at the start of the month. I was in such a reading mood and I had a lot of time off to use in March to be able to read, and unfortunately I got COVID, ended up really ill, couldn't read, couldn't do anything, and I've ended up busy for some of my time off as well, going out, so I haven't got a ton of reading done, which sucks, but hopefully I can make up for it in April and read a lot, especially when the sun's shining. I love just sitting outside and reading, so that will definitely motivate me to read if the weather picks up again in April. But yes, anyways, that's like a different thing. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But yes, very, very excited for all of these. Please do let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books, what you rated them and what your thoughts were. Let me know if you're planning to read any of these, and also let me know what's on your TBR in April, because I'd love to know what everybody else is planning to read. If you made it this far, please leave a spring emoji in the comments, leave a tulip emoji or just something to do with spring. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe. I upload bookish videos every single week and reading vlogs and all of that fun stuff as well. And I do also have a Patreon, and that's where you can find extra content from me, such as reading vlogs, a monthly buddy read. We have a Discord where we chat, we do a 24 or 48 hour readathon each month, and there is much more over there as well. So yes, if you would like any extra content from me, you can head to my description box where you can find the link, along with the link to all of my social medias like my Bookstagram and Goodreads and Twitter and all that good stuff. It's all linked in the description box along with these books. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you're all safe and well. I hope you're reading lots of good books, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!